This week on Nation's Business, we will bring to you the highlights of the Fijian Prime Minister Honorable Barangay Bainimarama's official visit to the Republic of Cuba upon an invitation of the President His Excellency Miguel Diaz-Canel. Sit back and relax as we bring you more. The Republic of Cuba exists in a time and space all on its own. Blending the traditions of Spain, Africa and its native peoples and lit by fires of independence and revolution, the aromas, textures and flavors of this Caribbean nation are like no other. Cuba declared its independence from Spain in 1898. During the fighting, the United States entered the war in what became the Spanish-American War. The involvement of the United States in the war resulted in the defeat of Spanish forces that surrendered sovereignty over Cuba on December 10, 1898, and ended in the signing of the Treaty of Paris, which provided for the independence of Cuba from Spain. Since then and moving forward, Cuba has punched well above its weight, not for its economy only, but building strong bilateral relations with other nations. Cuba established its diplomatic relations with Fiji in 2002. Since then, it has grown.
I'm here at the invitation of Cuba's president, Mr. Diaz-Canel. He and I both know that nations are made stronger by great friendships, and the 12,000-kilometer distance that separates Fiji and Cuba does not diminish the tremendous potential of our relationship.
Prime Minister Bainimarama began his official visit to Cuba at the Jose Marti Memorial Building. Here the Prime Minister laid a wreath at the Jose Marti Memorial to pay tribute to the Cubans who sacrificed their lives in conflicts for their beloved country.
Descansen, armas! Presenten, armas!
Para recibir por la derecha, presenten.
From Josie Marti Memorial Building, the Prime Minister was accorded a Guard of Honor at the State House. Fijian Prime Minister Honorable Worengem Bainimarama believes the future of the Fiji-Cuba relations is looking up and government will exhaust all avenues in strengthening the relations at all levels. Prime Minister Bainimarama is the first Fijian leader to have visited Cuba on any official visit. This meeting is indeed a remarkable moment for Fiji and Cuba. It is an opportunity to advance the mutual interest to improve the lives of Cubans and Fijians alike. At the meeting, discussions were centered on agriculture, medical collaboration and tropical medicine, climate change, sports, reciprocal free visa entries, and the Pacific Islands Forum with Cuba as a dialogue partner. Fiji and Cuba are now committed to help the world through its great difficulties. Fijian Prime Minister Bainimarama says the two countries are always on the right side of the debate table, whether they are challenges of eradicating poverty or promoting good health and care for the people or climate crisis. On the issue of medical collaboration and tropical medicine, the Fijian head of government thanked the Cuban government for its investment collaboration, which has immensely benefited the small island states like Fiji. Such collaboration between the two countries has seen the high number of Fijian students pursuing their 6-year medical studies at the Latin American School of Medicine in Havana. It has been found that the Latin American School of Medicine is the world's most advanced medical school.
I want to tell you how 20,000 remarkable young people from over 100 countries ended up in Cuba and are transforming health in their communities.
6 years of medical education and room and board, and it's all free.
Prime Minister Bainimarama said he recognized Cuba's resilient healthcare system in using natural medicine and looked forward to advancing the two countries' collaboration opportunities in the area of medicine. The Latin American School of Medicine is the world's largest medical school. It enrolls more than 20,000 students from over 122 different countries. Some are awarded all expenses paid medical scholarships. For the 21 Fijian medical students, the Fijian government through the medical scholarships sponsored them. This is some of their story.
Firstly, I always wanted to become a doctor, and then I saw this scholarship on the Fiji Times in 2013 and stuff, so I decided to apply without thinking that I would actually receive it. And then when they finally came the news that I received it, I was so happy. I was just lost for words and everything. So I've been here for about 6 years, going on to 7 years now. I'm a 6th-year student. It's my last year in Cuba, and yeah, I really like it. Cuba is like a new experience. Where I would say it's like something totally different from home. I learned so much here in Cuba.
In their first year, the students study Spanish because while conducting their practical, they will be involved in community work where the majority speak Spanish and English is their second language.
And I've seen what Cuba has done for me. I've seen the changes, I've seen the challenges, I've seen the experience and everything. So I was actually thinking of trying to further my studies here in Cuba, doing a specialty over here. I was wanting to do a surgery because here in Cuba it's basically the main objective is like primary attention. You know, you're just there, you with your patient every day. For students especially, like I'm not sure about Fiji, but here in Cuba, once we go into third year of medicine, you're there in the hospital like every day from 8 to 4, 8 to 4, 8 to 4. Every day it's like that, and you're always there working with your patients, working with your teachers and everything. So it's like basically like hand on deck kind of practice.
So basically, I've always wanted to be a doctor, but for different reasons, I never had the opportunity to do it back home. I continued to have this dream, and I was also living at the St. Christopher's home, where my nuns had always encouraged me not to give up hope. So after I finished Form 7, I tried to apply at FSM, but I couldn't get into school because my marks were not up to that and I couldn't get a scholarship.
For 6 years, Sanjana was staying at the St. Christopher's home in Nakasi when she was awarded the scholarship.
I am studying medicine, so that's Bachelor in Medicine and Bachelor in Surgery. And it's a 7-year program. So first year we get to study Spanish and science subjects in Spanish, and then the 6 years of medicine course. Because of the fact that I was at the St. Christopher's home, I have a lot of love and affection for kids, so I probably would want to join public health and a pediatrician or something like that. I'm very much looking forward to finishing my 6 years over here, next 6 years, and going back home and being able to help the community and being able to do what I've always wanted to do.
The highlight of the Prime Minister's visit was meeting the 21 Fijian medical students at Hotel National de Cuba. During this meeting, many of these medical students described the Prime Minister Barangay Bainimarama as an inspiration and a father figure.
Oh my God! I'm so excited. I didn't even know this till yesterday. I'm so grateful that he finally made it over here, so you can finally see what Cuba is like, so you can see just how life here is in Cuba.
First of all, I'm very honored to meet him, and he seems a lovely person. It's very nice of him to think about us and take out his time for us, and we look forward to seeing him in the future years. Yes.
I'll see these young Fijians again for lunch, and please help me give them a warm bula from Fiji. Let them know we're all rooting for their success, and we can't wait to see them when they come home.
The Fijian Prime Minister hosted the students over luncheon and had a Talanoa session with them.
Some of the students drove hours through the night to meet with my delegation over some Fijian grog, a taste of home we brought with us to Havana. Listening to these aspiring Fijian doctors share their stories of what it's like to study in a foreign country, away from their friends and families, reminded me of the years I spent training abroad. I know being away from home is never easy. It takes resilience, it takes a strength of character. But I have no doubt the students' experiences will impart on them the values, the discipline and the knowledge they need to become world-class physicians.
¿Quién habla ahí?
Yo soy Samuela. Disculpa.
These medical students now speak Spanish fluently.
Ah, está bien, está bien.
Ok, está bien. Gracias. Tenga buena noche.
Está bien.
Muchas gracias al gobierno de Fiji, Islas de Fiji.
Bueno, muchas gracias al Estado de Fiji. Yo estoy muy agradecida que el primer ministro me dio esa oportunidad de estudiar aquí en Cuba, a tener una gran experiencia de mi vida. Y por fin, sí, muchas gracias, muchísimas gracias.
PM Bainimarama and his delegation went on to visit Cuba's National Institute for Sports, Physical Education and Recreation. In sports, Cuba has tremendous international sporting achievements. Its athletes have world-class pedigree and an outstanding track record in boxing, volleyball, basketball and baseball, and have achieved high-level medal tallies in international competitions. Meanwhile, there was a memorandum of understanding on sports cooperation negotiated between Fiji and Cuba.
We've heard a lot about your facility and how a lot of sportsmen have come out from here. At one time, we were hoping that you'd send us some coach, boxing coach, but I don't know where that. What happened to that request?
Nosotros, usted conoce, con anterioridad habíamos firmado un memorando de entendimiento. En el año 17 ya caducó y abiertos, ¿no?, al diálogo y al intercambio. Pienso que ese debe ser el punto de partida, ¿no?, que poder retomar todos los asuntos relacionados con el convenio entre las partes, hacer firme los compromisos y cumplir.
This was an opportunity to collaborate and share best practices, organize tours, coaching clinics in rugby, boxing, volleyball, baseball and basketball between Fiji and Cuba's sporting associations. Next, the Prime Minister visited the famous La Cohiba cigar factory in Havana to learn more about cigar production. The Cuban Cohiba is a brand well known around the world. This visit is to see how tobacco farming can be a lucrative business for Fiji. Tobacco farming makes up only a small fraction of Fiji's agriculture sector, and government is looking at innovative ways to increase the production of such a lucrative commodity. Prime Minister witnessed firsthand the manual production of cigars and was also briefed on the harvesting processes. Bainimarama was amazed how these workers make cigars without using high-tech and advanced technologies, with the end product is of high quality. He said this is something Fiji can learn from. He added Fiji has the potential to do farming on a large scale. All is needed is the right knowledge and skills to venture into this activity to further boost the agriculture sector and also for improved livelihoods. A total of 247 employees work at La Cohiba cigar factory. Majority are women. Finally, PM Bainimarama visited the Colonial Havana Museum to learn more about Cuba's history. Few cities can stir the imagination like Cuba's capital, Havana, a city preserved by forts and citadels. Citadel is a strong castle in or near a city where people can shelter from danger, especially during a war. Among other artifacts housed at the museum are materials that were discovered by ancestral Cubans thousands of years ago, and also samples of battleships. Prime Prime Minister Bainimarama also took time to meet with locals, particularly children.
What other subjects you like? Oh, very good. Professor, huh?
I saw you yesterday on TV.
Oh, I was on TV yesterday.
Yes.
The Palace of the Captains General, once home of governors. With its cool elegance, the palace today is the home of the Museum of the City of Havana. Getting around the city is easy. Simply walk, catch a bus, or cruise in style. Havana is home to thousands of classic cars from a golden age, which, just like the city, only becoming more alluring with each passing year. The head of government also made an open invitation to the President of the Republic of Cuba, His Excellency Miguel Diaz-Canel, looking forward to hosting his delegation when the President schedules his visit to Fiji.